Hello again, friends, and I pray God's blessing for you on the deepness of your spirit, down to the richness of your inner man. May God bless you today, and I'm looking forward to getting together over this, which I've titled as the Days of Noah. I've been struggling a little bit with what to say here. I think this is going to be a transitional message, a transitional video. I want to turn the presentations I'm doing into another gear. I want to go up into second gear, and that's a little difficult for me to do because I'm concerned that it may frighten you, that it may be difficult for you. So I want to deal with that a little bit today as we look at this topic as the days of Noah. So I ask you, what was the emotional condition of Noah when God told him to build an ark and that it was going to rain for 40 days and 40 nights, and he was going to change the course of the world? I wonder how Noah felt about that every day as he built the ark. Do you think he went through a series of emotions? I think his emotional life was very complicated, don't you? So here's a question for us all to ponder. Did God give us the scriptures to terrify us or to prepare us? Most of us treat it as if those scriptures are terrifying. That was the intention of the scriptures? I don't think so. Take a look at this picture. I'm going to bring a picture over for you to look at here. I want you to ponder this picture as I communicate a few thoughts to you. That's a beautiful little picture of a farm scene, right? It's not too hard to look at, is it? But within that field are wheat and tares. There are wheat and there are tares among the wheat. And that's the situation that we're living in today. Two types of people. There aren't three. You're either with Noah or you're not. Think about that. As I present this message, this will become more thought-provoking, I believe. But there's a divided kingdom, and it started in the garden. The kingdom is divided, and the adversary has sown seeds of destruction. And there's a war going on. And, all of us would rather live on a cruise ship, right? I mentioned that a few videos back. Some of us think we're on a cruise ship. But our Father who made us has placed us on a battleship, a battle for good, for our children, and even for ourselves. The battle is being played out in the human mind between truth and lies. And we're in a battleground, and we should be on a battleship. And if we've been sailing on a cruise ship, it's not going to do us a lot of good in the battle. Suppressing these emotions that I'm about to take you through is not going to help you when times go bad, when times get difficult. You're going to need to be prepared in your heart. God is preparing you to meet Him. He's preparing you. I want to say that again. Did you hear what I said? We think He's preparing us for the things to come on the earth. No, He's preparing you to meet Him. What we have to encounter on this earth is nothing compared to walking into the presence of the Holy God. He is preparing you through His Word to meet Him. He is the consuming fire and a tempestuous storm. That's what prophecy is there for. And this kingdom divided is a big deal. It's a big deal because the world is divided. Here, before I get to this verse, let's look at this kingdom divided. If Jesus said if a kingdom is divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. If a house is divided against itself, that house will not be able to stand. And we've seen that in marriages, haven't we? Played out many times. We see that in our families. They're not able to endure division. If there's division inside of you, same thing. God's word is to remove the division in us. That's the goal of the message. It's to quicken us to a life holy unto the Lord. Are you learning holiness these days? I really encourage you. Pursue holiness. The scriptures say that just as it happened in the days of Noah, so it will be also in the days of the Son of Man. What does that mean? As it was in Noah's day. Well, I can tell you a few things it means, conceptually. One is, there was Noah and his family, and they entered an ark. And then there were other people. They didn't enter the ark. Just think about it. Out of all the world, there were only 8 people who entered the ark. That's what 1 Peter 3:20 says. 8 people were brought safely through the water. 2 Peter 2:5 says, Noah with 7 others. What happened to the rest? There aren't 3 types of people on the earth. There are only 2. So I want to get you to think a little bit about the emotional life of Noah. He didn't suppress it. He dealt with it. I can tell you from a personal point of view too, as I've dealt with it, I've gone through multiple emotions. Sometimes they last weeks. Sometimes it's heavy. And sometimes it's very difficult. Sometimes it's joyful because I'm in expectant hope of good things to come after this all passes. But it can be very difficult dealing with the emotional life. But I want to encourage you as I take these videos into another gear that I don't lose you. Because if you just pursue something that tickles your ear for an emotional blessing, you're not going to be ready in the storm. Of course, this makes sense, right? I don't think I'm telling you anything too difficult. But you know, Habakkuk was just like us. He's a prophet, but he was just like us. And I love that. A prophet who thought like us. We all want to know, how can this all be? What's going on here? I mean, I'll show you my notes. My notes are, I'm trying to help you with your radical shift in thinking from fear to courage. Okay, that's where I want to take you, is to courage. And courage requires that you look at these things. You need even some courage to look at these things, but courage will come from looking at these things with me. But there's an evil coming upon the earth. And we ask ourselves, how can that be? How can God allow that? How does this all work? Can't God stop these terrible things? Is he at war with evil? Is it in the balance? Like, who will win? Nope. God's in control over all these things. I want to settle you down. But when I teach you what the scriptures say and the truth about who God is, you're going to have a hard time with it. Habakkuk did. Habakkuk struggled. In the days to come, I'll help you with that. But let's just crack it open a little bit now. Here we go. Ready? Habakkuk said, "How long, O Lord, will I call for help, and you will not hear?" Basically, Habakkuk said, I'm praying to you every day, and you don't hear me. How long is this going to go on? He says, I cry out to you. There's violence all around me, yet you do not save. Oh, a little judgment here is what I'm beginning to pick up. Habakkuk says, you don't hear, you don't answer, you don't save. That's a prophet saying that. You ever feel that way? Habakkuk says, why do you make me see iniquity and cause me to look on wickedness? Destruction and violence are before me. Strife exists and contention arises. I've had a lot of conversations with people regarding these types of things, and this is our position when we start. So this just doesn't seem right. All this evil. Doesn't God care? Isn't he loving? If I was him, I'd probably be more loving and take care of this evil. Right? Isn't that how we think? Right? Habakkuk goes on and says, therefore the law is ignored and justice is never upheld. The wicked surround the righteous, therefore justice comes out perverted. He's saying the wicked surround the righteous. Habakkuk was really, really wrestling. Well, let's go back to the days of Noah. So in the days of Noah here, I want to help you here. We're going to process this a little bit. How does it work? So this is what's going to happen. And I want to prepare you a little bit. This is somewhat terrifying. Just as it happened in the days of Noah, so it will be in the days of the Son of Man. They were eating and drinking and were marrying. They were being given in marriage until the day that Noah entered the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. So let's look at verse 27 a little bit together. They were eating. They were drinking. That's a big problem, right? Wait a second. They were eating and drinking? What's wrong with that? And marrying? And being given in marriage? What's wrong with that? Well, I want to say there is nothing wrong with that. But then what did he mean? Just as in the days of Noah, they were eating and drinking, marrying, and being given in marriage. What does that mean? Well, Noah wasn't doing that. What was Noah doing? He was still eating and drinking, wasn't he? Was he avoiding marriage and giving in marriage? That's not the point. What's the point of this verse? The point is there were two types of people. One type, Noah, was paying attention to what God was about to do. The other, not at all. They were suppressing it. They weren't carrying it around in their heart until the flood came and destroyed them all. What do you think? How do you think they treated Noah? Did they mock at him? Did they scoff at him? Sure did. Check this out. It came about that after 7 days that the water and the flood came upon the earth. This is in Noah's time. This is Genesis chapter 7. So the flood came in the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, on the 17th day of the month, on the same day. I want you to get this part now. All the fountains of the great deep burst open, and the floodgates of the sky were opened. Most people don't know this verse. They don't know that this says this. Most of us know that it rained for 40 days and for 40 nights. It rained for 40 days and for 40 nights. But most don't know that the floodgates of the sky were opened. So the heavens released the upper waters. There were waters in the heavens that came down. But there were waters below that came up. The fountains of the great deep burst open. Do you know that just as in the days of Noah, so it shall be at the coming of the Son of Man? Take a look at this with me. Revelation 12:9 says, "The great dragon was thrown down, the serpent of old, who was called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him." When God cleans up heaven, see, heaven is divided. Like the wheat and the tares. Satan and his angels have access to heaven right now. But when God cleans heaven up, he's going to throw them down to earth. He's going to do a cleaning in heaven before he does a cleaning on the earth. He's going to clean on the earth too. He's going to answer Habakkuk with an answer he did not expect. I'm going to teach you that in the next video. Habakkuk did not expect that answer and even responded back, "How could this be?" God's going to clean the heavens and then he's going to clean the earth. But before he cleans, it's going to be a dust storm. It's going to get messy. It's going to get so messy that the heavens are going to drop fallen angels, evil angels. The heavens are going to drop evil angels. But not just that. Evil angels are going to come up from the abyss. Look at Revelation 9:1. "The 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star from heaven which had fallen to the earth." Oh, a star from heaven fell to the earth? Yeah, Satan fell from earth, from the heavens. Satan was the star from heaven which was falling to the earth. So this verse is talking about the same thing as this. A great dragon was thrown down. I dealt with that a few videos back. Go look at the videos if you haven't seen that. So then what happens is this. And the key to the bottomless pit was given to him. To him? To the star? To him? A key was given to him that opened the bottomless pit. And when he opened the bottomless pit, which was locked, it was locked, and the angels were held there. He opened the bottomless pit, and smoke went out from the pit like the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by the smoke of the pit. Then out of the smoke came locusts upon the earth, and power was given them, as scorpions of the earth have power. Scorpions came upon the earth? Fallen angels. Angels. So just as in Noah's day, the judgment came from above and from below. Same here. It's going to come from above and from below. And what is the judgment coming upon the earth? Angels are going to play out the judgment. Angels. Fallen angels. Did you know that? Maybe you knew that. I don't know if you knew that or not. So, as the Antichrist rises, this is going to take a number of months, maybe even a year, for this to play out. This is kind of a process. It's not just an event. I need to deal with that in the future. The difference between events and process. Everybody misses what's going on because they don't see the unfolding process. They're looking for this specific event that's just this way in their mind, and therefore they can't see as it unfolds over the course of 18 months that it actually happened. I've been watching something unfold for 6 years. 6 years. Most people don't even know what's happening. I haven't told you, it's too terrifying. But I will tell you in the future what I've been watching. But I have to prepare you to hear things like that. You can't handle it now, maybe. Some of you. I don't know. So the adversary by smooth words will turn to godlessness those who act wickedly. So this fallen angel will turn by smooth words to godlessness those who act wickedly. What does that mean? He's going to turn to godlessness those who act wickedly? They're already acting wickedly toward the covenant of God. They're acting wickedly toward the promise in Christ. They're acting wickedly. They don't know that they're against Christ. Here's a verse for you. Jesus said this, "He who is not for me is against me. He who does not gather with me scatters." That hit me very hard when I first came to the Lord, because I never would have considered myself against God. But he says, "He who is not for me is against me." Because I definitely could be convicted that I was not for him. How did I exemplify the fact that I was for him? By my neutrality, by being neutral. He who is not for me is against me, and he who does not gather with me scatters. There aren't three types of people here. Neutral is not an option. He who is not for me is against me, and he who does not gather with me scatters. Anyone who is not for him acts wickedly towards the covenant of God. And this one, through smooth words, will turn to godlessness those who act wickedly toward the covenant of God. We're going to start to see a division between the wheat and the tares. Because God's people, so it says here, but the people who know their God, but the people who know their God will display strength and take action. They're going to be warriors. What kind of warriors will they be? What kind of strength will they display? Well, we will pray. That's the strength. The weapons of our warfare are divinely powerful for the tearing down of strongholds. Wow! Yes, that's the weapon we're going to wield, is prayer. And we will display strength and take action. Let's go back to Noah a little bit here. These are the records of the generations of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, blameless in his time. Noah walked with God. And I'm encouraging you, draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. The Lord said to Noah, Enter the ark, you and all your household, for you I have seen as righteous before me in this time. Noah trusted God and was seen by God as righteous. That's the side I want to be on. How about you? Prophecy quickens the heart and turns your heart toward God. And it will dispel the fear too. Sure will. Noah had faith in God. By faith, Noah, being warned by God about things not yet seen, in reverence, prepared an ark for the salvation of his household. Wow. Look at the green. By faith, Noah prepared an ark. By faith, what are you preparing? By faith, Noah prepared an ark, being warned by God about things not yet seen. You're being warned about things not yet seen. Most people are scoffing and mocking. How do they scoff and mock? By ignoring the scriptures, by setting aside the word of God. That's how they scoff and mock God. It's like a mirror. God is shining down the revelation, and they shine back a mirror. Don't want to look at it. Back at you. I have a few more closing thoughts. Let's see. Let's go to here. Here's a good one. Let's go to this one. Jesus said, I tell you that he will bring justice for them quickly. And this, he was talking about an unrighteous judge. Now he's a righteous judge, and he was saying if an unrighteous judge brings justice quickly, how much more a righteous judge? But he says this, however, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on the earth? Here's the question I ask. When Jesus comes back, will he find faith on the earth if it is up to me? If everybody else is faithless, will he find me faithful? Are you like Noah? Are you preparing for things not yet seen? I hope this verse blesses you. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. There's a kingdom divided even in our mind, isn't there? I want to lay at the foot of his throne as a needy one, not impressing him, not as one who serves him as if he were in need of anything, but one who is in need at the foot of his throne. Be miserable and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to gloom. Humble yourselves in the presence of the Lord, and he will exalt you. God bless your day.